Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Rebecca Bromwich. Rebecca is running for election for Ottawa City Council as a candidate for Ward 17, Capital. Thanks, Rebecca, for your time, and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here, and let's get this job interview started. As with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity to learn more about Rebecca. So the first question is, can you tell me a bit about yourself and your story?
Well, I have 4 teenage kids, and that's my top priority. I'm a lawyer by training. I've been a lawyer for 20 years. I'm also a mediator, and I have negotiation training, and I work as a law teacher and professor, and I teach business topics as well. So I have a lot of education, and I've worked as a professional for a long time.
So I wanted to ask you now, why have you decided to run for the position? Why counselor? Why Capital Ward? Why 2022? Why?
And people ask me that actually a lot because city council has been really dysfunctional, and it has been basically kind of a horrible place. And so seeing that, I thought, it's time I have the opportunity here to bring some of the training I have that I felt like I could make a contribution. And it seemed pretty dire last winter when we had the convoy come in. And it wasn't just the convoy, I started watching the city council meetings on Zoom and realizing this was this horribly dysfunctional interaction with a lot of people working really hard, but not collaborating well together. And particularly Capital Ward was a problem. And I thought this was a space where I could try and help serve the people of the area of the city that where my heart is really close to, because it's where I work at Carleton University. Lots of people I know have businesses there and live there. And I just felt like I could make a contribution.
So let's take a bit of time now to talk about this job and what you bring to it. So I wanted to ask you, what experience do you bring to this job?
Well, as I said, I've worked in law and mediation and conflict resolution for 20 years. And so I've sat at a lot of tables. I've sat at boardroom tables and the council table in courtrooms, and I sit at my kitchen table with 4 teenage kids. And I've just been in a lot of spaces where I have to constructively address conflicts, and I have a framework and training in how to do that in a way that brings people together.
So I wanted to ask you, there's not as many candidates in this ward. It's a smaller race per se, but I wanted to ask you, what sets you apart from the other candidates who are running in this ward?
Well, there's really obvious things that you're going to see on any of the campaign material. I'm the only woman, and in fact, there hasn't been a woman that has won in Capital Ward since Ottawa was amalgamated. So since the amalgamation of the city of Ottawa. So if you voted for me, you would be voting for the first woman in this area since the amalgamation of Ottawa. Which but I mean, vote for me because of that or don't. But I also have. In terms of training and credentials and qualifications, I have a ton of education and experience. And I am committed and hardworking. If you don't care about my education, that's fine. But if it showcases nothing else, it showcases how hard I'll work. Um, it showcases how hard I'll work and how committed I am.
Part of serving as an elected official is serving the people who elect you. So a few questions now about how Rebecca wants to serve the people. So the first question is, and this is sort of when you can talk about your plan now. What's something that the people of Capital Ward need that you want to get done? What are some things that you do want to get done for Capital Ward?
Well, we certainly need to have a plan for Lansdowne 2.0. That's happening. So in my first 100 days in office, I commit to having a full consultation accessible across the city at times that make sense in person as well as online dimensions to make sure we talk with all the stakeholders who are relevant in a transparent and good faith way. There has been some unfortunate dealing on the part of the incumbent that was not transparent and not bringing the concern of the people to the table in a timely fashion. We need that right away. That's coming to us. That project is ongoing. And so that's one of my top priorities there. Also, with respect to public safety, I see that we continue to have issues on our streets with that, and housing. So those are 3 of my priorities.
And Finally, I wanted to ask you, what's an accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you'll be a good elected official if the people choose you?
Well, there's something that's sort of not on my resume, but I'm quite proud of. So my kids went to a preschool that needed a new building, and in Ottawa, and I was the chair of the board for a number of years, and we worked together with stakeholders in the community and citywide departments and the city councilor at that time in that area. And we got that building, and every time I go by it, every time I walk by it, because it's near my kids' high school, I'm happy and proud of the role that I had that's not, advertised, but I was able to contribute to something for the children of the community, for my children, but there's a legacy there because my kids aren't there anymore. Sometimes they go back and volunteered and help. But that is, I think, the biggest accomplishment that I think that I was able to be part of that is so relevant to this work.
Thank you, Rebecca, so much for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have really enjoyed hearing what you have to offer to them. Election Day is October 24th, 2022, and if you liked hearing what Rebecca Bromwich had to say and live in Ward 17, Capital Ward, you have the opportunity to vote for her on Election Day. Check with your local election officials for more details. To stay updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at BC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The Political Job Interview is a VCalla production, so until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.